All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Brian Hazio, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, and Jason Strudwick with us this afternoon. How we doing, boys?
Oh, what a time to be alive. The Leafs have turned the corner, but two guys you didn't think would be the catalyst for that turn. You guys must be thrilled over there in TO.
Right back in the race. Right back in the hunt.
Race, Struddy, and the term cup contenders again has been tossed around.
It happens quick.
Before we get to the hockey stuff, I have to take care of a little business. I just saw my guy, Scott Boras, on TV doing the Dylan Cease presser.
Mm-hmm.
He will be inducted into the Salad Rebuild Hall of Fame. He's got a salad going on him. He'll be right beside Struddy as king of the county.
Yeah.
He I don't know what he has going on. I can't tell if it's definitely a dye job, but there's also some growing air. Like, it's off the charts.
Every
weird.
year it gets a little bit crazier, right? Because there's some purple in there. And, like, he's an L.A. guy. I think he's a Malibu guy. So you got to keep with the times, right? You know what it's like. You know that Malibu crew. And
Dude.
He's a big wheeler, and he's trying to keep it.
How old would that guy? He's got to be close to 70 years old.
I would think so. Yeah, like Boras has been around my whole life.
Yes.
I've heard about Scott Boras.
Sure.
Yeah, so he's been around for a long time, and this is his
play. He does
play.
not have dark chocolate brown hair.
No, 73 years old.
That's how old he is?
Yeah, 73. Still kicking.
Dude,
man.
he has dark, like, I'm gray, man. I'm turning 50 in February. There's no way in hell, Scotty boy, that you should be chocolate lab hair color. No way.
Not possible. Only Duffy can do that. Only Duffy.
And
Dude,
Bob Barker.
He's a freak of nature, man.
Yeah,
Duffy, it's just, I look at I'm captivated by his hair when he's talking, and I'm like, you're telling me no grays sprout in your hair?
Yeah.
He's 60 years old.
Fountain of youth. He's in great shape. He still plays golf and walks and everything, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Rigorous arm workouts, right? That's what he
Rigorous.
does. I think that's the key.
Yes, loves it because the Masters right around the corner, right? Once you get into the New Year's, Duffy knows what's up. You know,
he gets
JD
a boys'
understands.
medium golf shirt on, and he will ask Bob Weeks a question with just a Hulkamania flex on that mic.
How do
It's
we
Euro
feel the
cut
Canadians
sleeves.
can do this week and just
Yes.
flexing out of control?
Flex.
It's great. But, Scott Boras setting up shop, right? You see the reports now that it started with the Blue Jays. Obviously, they're kicking tires on Kyle Tucker, and he was down in Dunedin. And now it's Bo Bichette is Zoom calling with the Red Sox, right? Little Zoom call for Bo, which I don't know. How do we feel? Like, where does that line up in terms of, like, Tucker was at the facility. Why isn't Bo just driving down to Fort Myers? That's where the Red Sox, do their off-season stuff. I think Bichette lives in Tampa. It's like an hour-and-a-half drive.
Dude, I told you, man.
Why do you Zoom it? Why not drive down if you're Bichette?
Because that just may be a sign of the minimal interest. I don't know. Like, big-time interest is you better get to our facility and check it out.
Right.
But I told you the Tucker stuff is going to piss Bo Bichette off. Like when you're a longtime member of a team and you're one of their go-to guys and you think it's going to be – and we really don't know. He can say things to the media where he's like, I've always loved it here. My intention was always to come back. Behind the scenes, he might hate everybody's guts. Nobody knows that, right? Those are details that probably no one except him and his family would know.
Mm-hmm.
But once he catches wind – but if he did want to stay, and that was his true intentions, and it didn't happen right away – and you go and blow 200 sheets on a pitcher that's never been a part of the team, and you're sitting there waiting, it's a different vibe. And then the Tucker rumors come out. You're like, okay, that's what pisses players off, and it pissed me off at a certain particular time. I don't remember the circumstances, but you put your heart and soul into an organization for a long time, and then they want to toss around money at guys that have never stepped foot in the door. And I do get it. There's talented players in free agency. But when you're there a long time and you're a contributing player and in a damn good one, you're wondering why the process isn't sped up.
Yep. You can speak from experience. I'm sure, Strud, you've been there too.
Yeah.
Know.
No, no one called me. No one called me. Like every now and then I get an email like, "Hey, we'll take you again."
Right.
But I look at this Bichette situation. You know, the Blue Jays feel that they are going to be contenders again. So I think they have to be safeguarding their own organization. Like I'm sure they want Bo back. I think they've implied that, have they not? And so they have to look at other options. If Bo leaves, they can't just be like, "Oh, we got nothing else. We'll just figure it out as we go." It doesn't work that way.
That's right.
So I think that if I was in charge, my message to Bo is like, "Bo, we do want you. We're going to go through the process with you. It doesn't mean we're not going to look at other options in case you do leave. We want you, but if you leave, we have to protect ourselves." And quite honestly, they have to protect the rest of the players too, because that's a pretty significant hole if they don't replace or on some level what Bo does.
Absolutely. It's listen, it's a game of chicken right now. You get into the off season, man. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of checking in. There's a lot of misdirection.
Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense going on both ways.
Yeah, of course, and that's going to happen with everyone. And like as of now, I believe Bichette, is still a favorite to return to the Blue Jays for whatever that's worth. It doesn't mean anything really, but as of now, I wouldn't be surprised if Bichette returned. I wouldn't be surprised if it took a while before there was some sort of resolution. But there are some things happening, like Edwin Diaz was the number one, closer in the game, number one relief arm available. Where does he go?
Dodgers.
The LA Dodgers. Yeah, signs with the Dodgers. Gets a big ticket, goes there. They sign him for 3 years. So their bullpen is which was their problem. Remember, we talked about that extensively leading into the World Series. Got to get to the bullpen. You get to the bullpen, you can really pounce on that Dodger team, and the Blue Jays did that for the most part.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now you got Diaz coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah. It's like they have, like a house inspector. It's like there's a baseball inspector that goes to the GM, and it's like, you got to plug that hole right there. And then the guy they blow money and fix the problem. They plug it,
yeah.
And then it's like it's done. It's like,
Absolutely.
Oh, that was the problem. It's done.
And
now
it's a house that like it's unlimited resources, right?
Yes.
It's the Parliament. It's the White House. Like you can't let it rot. You're like, okay,
that's
whatever
it.
we need. Is that what we need? There you go. You get the money. Go pay it to him. Make sure you pay more than anyone else is willing to offer, and make sure you get the guy. So, wheels are in motion here at the winter meetings. The Blue Jays, I guess relatively quiet right now, but they're not alone. Kyle Schwarber going back to Philly. That's big in terms of a possible team that was going to look at Kyle Tucker. If Schwarber left-handed power bat, then Tucker was going to maybe make some sense there. But Schwarber's going back to the Phillies. So there will be Blue Jay news over the next couple of days, and we'll continue to get into it and track what's going to come out of the winter meetings. But, Strud, you mentioned it somewhat sarcastically. I'm picking up on sarcasm. But the Leafs with another win last night, and I thought it was a very impressive win. I thought it was, low-event game like Berube said, no problem. Find a way to win that game. I thought they checked well. I thought their big boys showed up and played pretty well. Obviously, Hildeby was great, your boy, right? Dennis Hildeby was outstanding again last night. And there's really good mojo with this team all of a sudden. They're picking up points, and they're right there. They're in the race. Detroit, Montreal, Tampa. It's wide open in the Atlantic.
It's crazy, the swing, Hayes, because we were dumping on them, regrettably, because it's not a lot of fun to do. But we had no choice. We got to talk about what we see, and they were just playing terrible. They looked disinterested, disorganized. The goaltending was poor. Their defensive zone play was beyond poor. And it wasn't entertaining. There was nothing about it that was good. And now they put it together. And Strud, you've seen the same thing in Edmonton with the boys putting it together out there. It's just crazy how it's the same team. But you're seeing all these teams, man. The Ottawa Senators were right up top there. And now they're right above Buffalo. Which Buffalo, man, we can get into it later.
They're a mess. They're in Edmonton tonight. They're going to get pumped in Edmonton. Like you would think the Oilers are licking their chops. They just got beat up by Calgary last night. So yeah, Buffalo is the one. It's the one outlier. They're the team that just is not really included. They happen to be a part of the division, but the other 7 teams are fighting for the top 3 spots, and it really could finish in any possible order. Like, it really could. Like, I don't trust Detroit's going to win the division. I don't trust, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa. The Leafs still have to prove a lot more. It's not like the Leafs had a horrible first 20 games.
We should put a hunch in the pot. Everyone on OverDrive, pick the final standings, what they're going to be, and the winner gets it all. JP, Doogie, Joe from the Bridge, Noodles, myself, yourself.
I like that
Everybody
idea.
chucks a hundo in, and if you pick the exact order of the Atlantic, you win the whole pot.
Great idea. I mean, it's so tough to do that.
Dude, how do you do it, man?
It would be really hard.
Yeah.
It'd be really tough. But, if you're a Leafs fan, I think what you liked about last night's game is I watched it. They looked comfortable in that game, right? And, yeah, there were some lucky bouncers. There's no doubt about it. But I don't believe in luck. I believe in do the right thing over and over again. And on some level, you get rewarded. Things kind of bounce your way because it's always good teams. They get lucky bounces. Well, why do good teams only get lucky bounces? It's because, for the most part, they're doing things the right way. So they look comfortable. And you want to feel comfortable in a 1-0 game or, it was 1-0 for a good chunk of it till the empty netter. I think that's really important. I think if I'm a Leafs fan, I'm feeling good about that because they sure didn't look comfortable in any type of game, just a few weeks ago, boys.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it was. And Tampa was I expected some desperation out of them last night. They had lost 3 in a row, now 4 in a row. Cooper was not happy with them after the game. But you're right. It was a low-scoring, low-event game, and it was going to be about avoiding that big mistake. And were there some breakdowns? Sure, and Hildeby made his stops when he had to. That's going to happen. But I think you look at the third period in particular, I think that's where that comfort zone really showed up. And I was very impressed. I thought they played really well. I thought they checked well. I thought they leaned on certain guys, which you're going to have to. Like Matthews, I know a lot of people are talking about him and the shot and the goal scoring. And the reality is he set the bar so high a couple of years ago. That 69-goal season was insane. Everything went in. Everything. It was the craziest season I've ever watched in terms of seeing everything. You and I, we watched basically every shift he played that year. It was insane how that guy was playing and how he was scoring.
Basically, it was a matter of if he was getting 1 or 2 every night.
Yes, every night you knew it. If he had an open space anywhere below the dots, it was like it's in. There's no chance you're stopping it. And that isn't going to happen again. He's not going to score 65-plus goals probably ever again. I'm not sure he gets to 60-plus or 55-plus. But I liked his game a lot last night. A lot. I thought he was on his toes. I thought he was aggressive. I thought he checked well. I thought he was push and play. And ultimately, that's what you need. If you're going to win 1-0, so be it. You don't need a hat trick out of the guy every single night. It's unrealistic to expect that.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to be a leader on this team, and I haven't loved this season overall, but again, I look at the third in particular. I thought he was over the boards a lot in the third. He played a ton, and I thought he played really well. I thought he was push and play. I thought he was dangerous but smart, right side of checks. And that's what has to happen. And that's what Berube's pushing for. They can score. They've scored all year. They're top 5 in scoring in the league. They're going to score goals. The issue for the first 20 games, and Strud, you saw it. You've been on with us a ton. They were horrendous defensively. Horrendous defensively.
If he can bring that approach, because the way he played last night, it had a Jonathan Toews kind of feel to it, where there's a skillful player, but he's just playing the right way. And Jonathan Toews never scored 69 goals, but you know what he did? Won 3 Stanley Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just if you can find a balance where you're contributing offensively and you're just let's be honest, he had a bunch of shifts, a bunch of games early on that you didn't know he was out there.
Unrecognizable. It didn't look like him. He just faded into the game a lot.
Yes.
But I didn't think that was the case last night. Of all the years
we've covered him, we've never, ever said that.
Right.
Maybe in very small stretches where it was a game or 2 here and there, you're like, man, he's a little bit off. But you're right about one thing. He's the guy that set the standard for anybody you guys are so hard on Austin Matthews. He's the one that goes out there and plays and set the standard of being one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, and quite honestly, he has to be, right? And when you look around a room, no one's looking down at the fourth liner saying, you've got to be the difference maker tonight. You're looking at the top guys. But that doesn't mean the bottom guys can't help. And I know you guys have overlooked it. You've talked about the goalies and the forwards. You haven't looked at, the heartbeat of every team, which is the D-man.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty significant D-men missing for the Leafs. But I think we've got to take a look at Troy Stetcher and McCabe.
I just got to ask you, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And I don't want to blow this thing out of proportion, but I love the guy's outlook on life, hockey, his plot in pro sports, how he's basically playing for his life every shift. I think he's effective. How did Edmonton just toss him aside? And I think he's a really good player, man.
He is.
I really do.
Listen, I think Troy Stecher is the ideal 6'7" defenseman, and he's moved up right now because I think he can moonlight up there. Like, he has the ability. If Troy Stecher was 6'3", his bank account would be a lot more chubby, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he's not a super big guy. He competes. He can make a pretty decent first pass. He gives you everything you can. But come playoff time, if he's your third, fourth D man, that's probably not enough, and that's no disrespect to he's a very effective guy, but right now he's plugging a massive hole on the Leafs, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're 6'7" D man. You're supposed to come in and plug a hole, and he's done that.
Just simple plays, like he's got some jump, he's got some energy.
Yeah,
when he gets the puck, he moves his feet and he can make a pass, and it's like. What I actually think when I watch him is it that hard to play defense in the National Hockey League? Strud, like, let's get serious here. Some of you guys make a mess of it back there. It's not that hard. Be physical, get in the corners, and get the puck and get it to the forwards.
Well, the problem is that the forwards are at the other blue line. You know, we can't airmail every pass. We're not, whatever, Jalen Hurts trying to well, that's a bad example, actually.
That's not the one you want to use after last night. But you are Jalen Hurts. That's the problem. That's maybe the issue, Strud.
But with Stecher, like, I think, and effective D-men like himself, they come in and they just get the job done. And it's not always a work of art, although he's rolling right now. But, man, what a pickup by the Leafs. And, the Oilers, I think they will miss him, but they have two other D-men they think have higher upsides in the short and maybe long term. But I don't think it was an easy choice to put him on waivers. I don't at all.
No, and it turned out to be obviously an easy and an effective one for the Leafs. And I think where he has been most effective is he has stabilized Jake McCabe, who I thought played really well last night. And
one of his better games.
Absolutely. Because, you know, he looks,
crazy.
he's in the fight now. Like, he's aggressive. He's winning battles. He's throwing hits. Where earlier in the year, you could tell he was fumbling the puck so badly. You know,
he was like a microcosm of the team. Like,
yes,
he wasn't even close to himself. He was throwing pizzas, cough-ups, a mess out there, and he completely lost his game. But he looked like last night he got it back.
He looked,
and the same for the team.
Absolutely, like he was again, simplified things. That's what he is. Like, if you want the definition of a meat and potatoes player in the league, it's Jake McCabe. Like, he's not up in the rush. He's not trying to saucer through, the neutral zone and set guys off. He has the ability to do that from time to time. But you're paying for a guy who's solid defensively, aggressive, makes you fight for every inch on the ice if you're on the other team. And he did that last night. And again, he obviously he's meshed really well with Stecher. So, top to bottom, I mean, that's a big win, because now you're 2 points behind Tampa. And a week and a half ago, Tampa was unstoppable. Was winning every night and looked like they might run away with the division. And it's funny how things have turned, because, like you said, Strud, or we've said, I guess, in Edmonton, it feels like the same thing. Like, the light has just gone on. These veteran teams feel comfortable. They feel like they're in the season now. They feel like, I don't know if they've been jolted, embarrassed. Maybe they've realized, okay, at some point we got to snap out of it if we want to make something out of this season. But the Oilers are doing the same thing. Like, they're beating up on teams. And, again, I expect them to do the same tonight. Like, if you're in Buffalo, you got to be thinking this is trouble this evening.
Yeah.
But that's,
and the Sabres need wins. Like, they're in a pretty big swing right here, and they need some wins. But, I think this is true for all teams. And, you can chime in on this, but I think that NHL teams do need practice. You need to practice at some point, especially when things aren't going well. You need to get on the ice, and whether it's, refocus on your defensive assignments or speed to the neutral zone, or just even scoring goals, right? Like, anything they need to work on. And there's stretches where teams this year will go 1-2 weeks without a team practice, which to me is insane, because as a coach, I can't say to you, hey, I'll show you a video of Tiger Woods, just swing like that. Yeah, I know it's supposed to swing like that. I've got to feel it. I got to be out there on the ice in the case of hockey, doing those types of things and putting those habits, imprinting those habits into my game. And in the case of Oilers, they've had 3, I think, real team practices the last 10 days. So teams need that time, not to mention the crazy schedule of so many games. And you're going to see, I think, wild swings of play because of fatigue and lack of practice over the course of the year.
Strud, when you get to that, like, I don't disagree with you, but I just think there's a lot of dumb players in the league. I think that because everybody that's gotten to the NHL was the best player on their team, and I think everybody, regardless if they're a fourth-line checker or they're a skill guy, they just do whatever the hell they want. They get the puck and they want to be Connor McDavid, and they want to do all this stupid stuff. Like, I just don't understand how, like, all you hear is coaches harping on our structure and our details. It's like, I don't know what.
But where do you?
What the hell are these guys doing? Like, it's either you do it or you don't. I think they're dumb and they don't want to do it.
But I'll ask the same thing. If you're not feeling good on the putting green, can you just sit back and have a couple Arnold Palmers and think you're going to get better at putting? You need to imprint those habits on your game. And whether it's hockey or pickleball or golf, they need to be out there doing it. And so I think that I know personally that I felt a lot better when I got on the ice and had, maybe I was struggling in an area and I had a couple shifts or reps doing it. All of a sudden I'd find my game again. Like, that's what it feels like. So I don't agree. I don't think they're dumb. I don't think they're having any practice, because coaches are talking about all the things you're saying. When do you put those into effect? You do it on the ice in practice.
Well, my counter to that is, it's the NHL, and it's a fast-moving game, and everything is always different. So to say, if this guy does this, you got to go.
No.
Every play is different, man.
But
every
defensive
play is
zone,
different, and it happens so fast.
But I disagree. In your own zone and on the rush, it's the same habits. Like, one of the things that was my pet peeves when forwards would over back check. So they're trying to help me. They'd skate all the way back and stand right beside me at the net. Meanwhile, the guy that scored it was standing at the hash marks. Just stop at the hash marks.
Okay,
just stop there.
Well, here's an example where the dumb factor comes in. You're up 2-1, you're up 3-1 in the third period, and your coach after the game says, we consistently turn the puck over at the opposition's blue line and our blue line. Our details were terrible. How do you know that you can't How do you not know that you can't turn the puck over at the opposition blue line in a tight hockey game? Or get it in deep and not try these passes and giveaways. They do it all the time.
And that's a forward issue. I'm not as well versed in forward issues, but and there are ways to do that in practice. Listen, I'm not saying practice cures all, though, but what I'm saying there, it is important. And in a limited time when you don't have it, just listen to coaches' avails. They'll talk about it all the time. Well, we only had one practice the last 10 days. We haven't practiced in 6 days. Like, it does make a difference. And I actually think we're doing a disservice to the league when they don't practice, because we can't show our best, and they're fatigued on top of it.
Well, and the reality of this year is it's not going to get better.
No.
It's just going to continue. Like, you're playing – if you have an off day, it's amazing. Like, the Leafs would have been off today. They'll practice tomorrow. That's big. They got a big practice tomorrow. Then they play.
Hayes, I got to be honest with you. I know you've been dying for Olympic competition. I really believe that this type of schedule and what it's doing to the players, and you're seeing the injuries, I don't think it's worth going to the Olympics. I really don't. I don't.
Okay, but you got to have international hockey in some capacity.
I don't care. If this is the sacrifice, this schedule and the way the games were going and the quality and everything else that we've talked about, I don't think it's worth it for a 2-week tournament.
Okay, but so you don't think you need to sacrifice in some capacity to make sure that you have international hockey?
I'm just making a statement.
I get what you're saying, but my point is fine. If it's not the Olympics, it's got to be something.
Okay,
like
Four Nations every couple years.
Sure, but then that's probably going to happen during the season. You're going to shut down. Now, it's not as extensive because it's likely to be in North America every year. Yeah. And maybe it's only a certain amount of teams.
Basically, what I'm saying is what's going on now with the schedule is, I think, is crazy.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also willing to sacrifice games in November and December to make sure that we get international hockey. I think it's a joke we haven't had it in 12 years.
Yeah. Okay, you're right, Strad. Like September 10th, the season starts if you're having an Olympic year.
Right.
So
and that's
it's
on
spread
them,
out,
the TV networks to figure that out.
No kidding. Yeah.
But I don't know if they will, because the NFL and college football, and there's always excuses.
There is. But I'll tell you this, as a guy who didn't go to the Olympics, I love that time off. God, I look forward to that. Like, going on a trip.
I put on a clinic in Cancun for 10 days.
At the office, what's that park? I think it was called the Office or something. Like, it was right on the beach. But you come back, you felt so fresh, and then you see your teammates that played in the Olympics look just dog tired,
dead. Faces were sunken in. Yeah. The first Olympics, I didn't do one thing for 10 straight days.
Oh no!
And I got back on the ice, Strud. I felt amazing.
Oh really?
Best I've ever felt, because you're just totally rejuvenated. I didn't do a thing.
Nothing's sore, nothing's broken. Like, it feels so good. Yeah. But the best players go and suffer. Well,
the league's going to get that, right? Like, the stretch run, I think, should be great. It should be great hockey. And I hear what you're saying. It's condensed. There's injuries. It's not the greatest hockey of all time. But for me, you have to have best on best. Like whether that happens in September, whether it happens, in North America every 2 to 4 years. There's been a generation of great players that just haven't had the opportunity to do what Crosby did and Gretzky and Lemieux and it's, I want that as a fan. And luckily it's going to happen, but I hear you. There's sacrifices that have to be made, and we're witnessing them right now. All right, Matthew Knies coming up this hour. Matthew, obviously off to a great start this year. The Leafs with a big win last night. They got a big homestand here. San Jose on Thursday, Edmonton in town on Saturday. That'll be electric. The Oilers roll through town once a year. It's always on a Saturday night. It's going to be a great night. And Chicago, Bedard in town early next week, too. So it's a big week here for the Leafs. Matthew Knies coming up. We got Johnny on the show today. Mike Johnson will join us. Confirm or deny coming up. Best bet still to come. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. All right, OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear this, Struddy. The military is on watch. It's snowing here in Toronto. It's bad. The weather's been bad, so we're just making sure everyone across the country is aware that we might need some help here, right? It's snowing a lot. It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Is it wet snow, heavy or dry, or what do you get
snow.
there?
Heavy snow. I did a shovel, and like an hour later, you wouldn't know I even shoveled. So
I think the great mayor of Toronto will be on top of it, and she'll have everything in order.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Yeah, see the Finch LRT is open, and people are already losing their minds because it's making all the stops.
She sent in a request to make it go faster.
They're going to try to figure that out. We've been waiting a long time. It finally opens, and already people are like, this took 52 minutes to go.
Isn't this stupid thing, like you had to have been, you're from that area. Wasn't this LRT thing a part of your whole adult life?
Yeah, well, the Eglinton one, I used to live just south of Eglinton. Literally, you'd putt, and I'd hit Eglinton. It wasn't even a wedge.
This thing's been going on for 15 years.
Yes, over 11 years. And I lived just south of Eglinton, like Yonge and Eglinton area, and I knew it was coming, so we were going to move. I'm thinking, all right, it's going to get a little bit crazy. And that was over 11 years ago. It still is not open.
Jeez.
It's not even
11 years.
Yeah, and it's not, and they keep giving updates, and now Doug Ford's saying, it's right around the corner, and we're just making sure the doors open and close. Like he has any idea what's going on. He has no clue what's happening or what they're doing or what they're trying to accomplish here. But eventually, Eglinton will be popping again. I cannot wait for it. And so many local businesses, small businesses, just got crushed by it too because of construction, and it was an upheaval, and it's been an upheaval for a long time. And I'm sure the payoff over time will be great, but it's taken a long time. But weather's a little crazy. Leafs back in action on Thursday. We got to get into the Thursday nighter last night or Monday nighter. Oh, you're very supportive, right? Very supportive. I know you were leaning Eagles, but this is why we are a three-man team. You need two to be a majority. Al's brother and I were pushing Chargers. You said Godspeed, let's go, and it was a great pick.
You guys pulled the trigger, although Jalen Hurts should be ashamed of himself. I thought it was receiver problems, like they're all divas. They all want the football. But he just stunk the joint out last night. I think he had, four or five
interceptions and a lost fumble. Like, that's absurd. 5
That's just
turnovers.
not cutting it, dude.
He was terrible.
Same play.
He was terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know how, like the first 3 or 4 games of the season, I remember texting Luke saying, this Hurts looks like he's going to win the MVP. And then he completely fell off the map, and I have no idea what the hell's wrong with him.
That is one of the weirdest plays ever. You throw an interception, then you recover it, and then fumble it again. Like, that is Three Stooges stuff.
Yeah.
Just dive on the ball, hang on to it. But, I was actually watching Luke on SportsCenter. He had a really interesting point about Jalen. Jalen gets focused on a target, and I'm passing it here. Mm-hmm. And now when I think back to him, like, he doesn't kind of look around to see for other options or try to throw people off. And it's so true. You go back, he's just locked. I'm jamming this in there no matter what. And I'm guessing as a receiver, that's kind of scary because you know what could be on the other side of that, someone else on the other team.
Well, guess what the other guys on the other side are doing? This guy is so easy to read. This is like just picking cherries.
Yeah, the Eagles are they're in a bad place, man. And the Chargers found a way to win, and they've had injuries on their offensive line, and Herbert's all banged up. But the Eagles, they're doing it again. They're going to limp into the playoffs. They're likely still going to win the division. More than likely still win it. They have like a 90% chance of still winning it. But I don't see anyone being scared of them, which is crazy considering they won the Super Bowl and they've brought back basically the same team.
Yeah.
Maybe they can redeem themselves. Like maybe you get in, you reset, you go on a run, and all this.
Maybe, or it'll be just like the year they waltzed into Tampa and they got their asses handed
pumped.
to them.
And that's what it feels like is going to happen. They're going to backdoor into the playoffs, get pumped, leave. Everyone's going to hate Sirianni. Everyone's going to hate Hurts. And we'll see what they end up doing there. All right, Mike Johnson in half an hour. Matthew Knies off to a great start this year, over a point a game. He's on the radar for the USA team, right? There's more and more debate. Could he make it? Where would he fit? Probably a depth forward, obviously, but maybe a 13th, 14th forward. But he's a big power forward. He's having a great year. And he joins us now. Here he is, Matthew Knies. Of the Toronto Maple Leafs from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. We began by asking him, how you feeling? How you dealing with this weather in Toronto right now?
Not great, honestly. I need to do some shopping, get some extra coats and stuff. I'm a little light.
Yeah,
just be honest, man. Do you hate it? Like when you live in Arizona and you got to come up here and deal with this, does it make you sick to your stomach?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like you get all 4 seasons in Toronto. I feel like in Arizona, it's just one. So I enjoy it most days, but yeah, there's a few days that you'd wish to see the sun a little bit more.
Absolutely, you got to appreciate that. All 4 seasons. It's hockey weather, and that's what you guys are doing. You're playing hockey, and you guys have played great recently. And I guess we'll go right to a vibe check with you. How would you describe the mood in the room today compared to maybe where it was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think there's a lot of confidence and. Feels like there's a lot of swagger in our room too. I think Hilda Beast back there is doing a great job, and we just have so many good players and so much depth that it's just a fun group to be a part of. And I'm glad that we're starting to get in the win column and put some points up. And it's good. Everyone's feeling good, and we're looking to kind of keep that going with this home stretch that we have now.
Swagger in the room. Like what is that? What does that look like? Take us inside the room. What does that mean when you guys have swagger in the room?
Yeah, I think it's just confidence in our play. The maturity. I feel like yesterday, we're up 1-0. The majority of the game, and then we come out with a 2-0 win. That's a lot of swagger to kind of hold the team off and finish the game in the third period and keep the team on their heels. I think that's playing with a lot of swagger, and I think just having the confidence in our room with the guys and again, like B stepping up in net and guys stepping up for injuries. Like it's you could tell that there's a lot of confidence in the room and it's good to see.
Matthew, has your role changed, or is like the flow of the game? Sometimes when you play with the same guys, there's like a natural flow to it. And you played with last year Mitch and Austin. Without Mitch, does your role seem to change? Does it feel different on the ice without him out there?
I don't necessarily think my role changes, even compared to what line I'm on. I think it's, I try to do the same and play simple, hard hockey and, try to provide in any way possible, whether it's special teams, any situation or time of game. I don't think really my role changes. It's obviously a little bit different without Mitch. Obviously, he's an incredible passer and playmaker, but I think we've had a lot of good players step up and play in big roles, and I think Domes has done a great job on our line, creating a lot of chances and creating and producing offense. So, it's hard. I miss Mitch, but I think we have a great team and some great players. But and I think we're doing well. I think we're starting to catch our stride in chemistry now, and I think we're gonna have a great team in the second half here.
Just personally for you, it looks like your assist totals are going to be, smashed this year about what you've done in the past. So, I recognize Mitch is in there, but is there maybe looking a little bit more to the middle of the dish, or is it just the way kind of the puck's gone this year as far as maybe you being more of a setup man than a shooter?
Yeah, I think, again, honestly, my role hasn't changed. I think it's just, how it's fallen right now. I think obviously I want to find the back of the net a little bit more, but, again, it's just how it's gone. And, that just means that other guys are scoring and have the touch right now. And, I think everyone's kind of, been doing a good job producing and creating offense. And so it's good to see that, from all 4 lines and all three pairs of D, everyone's kind of chipping in.
We're chatting with Matthew Knies. The Leafs coming off a big 2-0 win over Tampa last night. They got San Jose later in the week and then Edmonton on Saturday. we keep talking about it outside of the game, the difficulty for a lot of players in the league and a lot of teams to just stay healthy and stay fresh. It's a condensed schedule. It's an Olympic year. We can get to that in a moment because I'm sure you're on the radar for Bill Guerin and the USA team. But how do you emphasize that, or how have you approached it this year, maybe compared to previous years, the focus and being, the ability to stay healthy and stay fresh?
Yeah, I think, honestly, through my short experience so far in the NHL, you kind of learn that there's so many resources out there to help you. At both our practice facility, our game facility, there's so many, people there to help with, any of the little things you need. So, there should be no reason that you should be able to keep yourself healthy and ready to play. And obviously things of that nature, like injuries, happen. But I think we just have all the resources to get you back there as quickly as possible. And we're pretty fortunate to have the stuff we do. And you just got to take advantage of those on a daily basis and take care of yourself. Eat properly and just rest the body. I think is important. It's difficult. There's a stretch of games where you're playing every other day, so just taking care of yourself and getting proper rest is vital.
Has it felt any different this year, being an Olympic year, and understanding that there's a lot of American scouts in the stands and they're watching you, they're watching Austin, who's going obviously, but how has the Olympic kind of cloud hanging over the season affected you, if at all?
I don't think it's affected me at all. I don't really look at it in that sense. It's kind of weird to think that there's scouts at your game in the NHL. I haven't really looked at it that way. I kind of just try to focus on my team here and focus on helping and winning. And I think that kind of stuff will sort itself out. That's out of my control. I can only control my work ethic, my ability to help this team. So that's the things I'm going to focus on.
When you look around the league, it seems like there's a lot of teams all kind of with a lot of parity. Everyone's kind of close, right? You're 4 points out of first or 4 points out of last. What is there? Is it the Olympics? Is it just maybe a lot of talent through this league? What do you attribute that to, Matthew?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's obviously been a little bit closer than the past 2-3 years I've been here. I think it's just every team's just getting really good now. There's a lot of good players, and it makes it difficult. I think our conference is extremely strong. I think every team has a reason to put themselves in the playoff spot, and I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to go down to those last few games, like it kind of has almost a little bit last year. But I think it's definitely going to matter this year with how close it is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for you. It's just been really tight and some really good hockey games.
Well, we discuss your biggest rival all the time, and like Owen and I are from here. It's always been the Habs. It's always been Montreal, like forever. And the last 20, 25 years, Ottawa's gotten in there, Boston, now the two Florida teams. Do you have a team in particular that sticks out? Like when you play them, it just feels a little bit bigger than the others within your own division?
I think, honestly, every team you mentioned just now, from Tampa, Florida, Ottawa, Montreal, it all feels like a playoff game with those guys. I think, we've all seen them enough that, you just kind of build that hatred. And, just every one of those games, feels like a rivalry. So I'd say all four, honestly.
Yeah, maybe throw Edmonton in there. You only see them a couple times, but McDavid and the boys are here on Saturday. And, again, it's a big week. You guys playing on Thursday. You got San Jose here. You got Edmonton on Saturday. But today's an off day, I presume, for you guys, and you're using your time really well. A big community day at Amazon's YYZ Forest Center, where, again, Matthew Knies has helped present a $15,000 donation of essential items to local organizations supporting families in need. Obviously, a really, really cool initiative. Tell us how you got involved and why it's important to you, Matthew, to give back.
Yeah. Eric reached out to me from the PA, and I think it was just about a month ago, and I said I was in. I think every year growing up, when I was a part of just my minor league team in the Junior Coyotes, we'd always spend a day at the Salvation Army and just kind of pack and wrap gifts for for those less fortunate. And I thought that this was something very, very similar and tailored in the same aspect. And it just lined up perfectly that I could have some free time and get to help out here and kind of just give back. So I'm happy with it. It's been a good experience so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it here.
Absolutely. Up at Amazon's robotics powered fulfillment center. So do you have like goggles on and gloves and work boots? Are you grinding right now, or what's going on?
Just gloves. I was packing a few gifts, wrapping some stuff. There's a lot going on here. It's pretty loud, but I'm trying to take it all in.
Attaboy. How's your wrapping abilities? Do you struggle with that, or strong?
It's horrible. It's horrible. It takes me a while to put together one box.
Yeah.
So.
I hear you.
Just put it in a bag.
Yeah, throw it in a bag. Gift cards.
Gift bag's the key.
Exactly. Well, congrats again on the win last night, on a great season so far. And, again, I think thank you from the GTA for giving back today. And enjoy the rest of the day. We'll do it again down the road. Thank you for this.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
There he is, Matthew Knies. Again, have himself a good year. And he and Matthews, they've played together pretty consistently. Berube, I think, flipped them for one game, maybe even half a game, and said that's enough. Like, those two are connected to the hip and playing well. And he's had a really good year, and we'll see. I don't, I've seen different projections on what Team USA is going to look like. Some people project he could make it, some maybe just on the outside looking in. But the fact that he's in the conversation is a real compliment. Right?
Yeah, and there's the idea that they had some players, like I believe in the gold medal game, they scratched Kyle Connor.
They did. Yep.
I think it was the highest scoring American. Highest scoring American at that time.
Right. Yeah. They went with big boys. Like, that's what they were looking for. That's what they thought they needed to beat Canada. Yeah. And he's 6'3", 225.
Well, it'd be interesting if they sat in a room, if you get your hands on the footage of a documentary of them talking about what's the approach now. Mm-hmm. Is it the same? Is it changed? It's got to be somewhat similar. Like, we're talking about all the best players, like the systems and what they do and points, and we're talking about, and Connor McDavid and Mitch Marner proved it, we're talking about one play. Yeah. Like, we're talking about get it in, get it out, make a play, don't make a play. That's what it all came down to the final game. One play.
One play.
But in a tournament like that, everyone is average except for maybe 1, 2, or 3 guys, and that's no disrespect to any of those guys on there. I mean, I would have looked like a beer leaguer. So, we think back to that tournament, there's 2 guys that look fast, McKinnon and McDavid. Everyone else, they could do what they had to, but a lot of them became, in that level, almost role players, right? Just move the puck, and they can all make plays, but it's not the same. So you have to make sure, as you mentioned, managing that puck and just waiting for that one time. And Marner, he made the perfect play to McDavid, and he cashed in on it, but it could have easily gone the other way. So, I mean, Matthew Knies, if you're a Leafs fan, I would want him to go really badly, because I think it's huge for the young players' growth to be around those guys, even though he's with Matthews all the time. But I think he's probably in the conversation. Like
he's in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it.
Start.
Yeah, he's had a really good start. All right, more on that with Mike Johnson coming up. You mentioned, Mitch Marner, and his numbers are not jumping off the page in Vegas. We'll get into where he's at about a third of the way through the season as well. Confirm or deny still to come. And a crazy report on who the Raptors could kick tires on, too.
There's the first edition of #HazeBait.
Yes. The first edition next. All right, Mike Johnson coming up. Confirm or deny as well. The Raptors NBA Cup quarterfinal tonight with the Knicks in town. Knicks like a 5.5 point favorite. No R.J. Barrett. There's some injury concerns on both teams, but certainly with the Raptors, they've really cooled off. They've lost a few in a row. But maybe they could make a big trade, a blockbuster deal, and mix things up because according to Shams Charania of ESPN, the Raptors will be one of the teams kicking tires on your boy, Anthony Davis. Street clothes himself could make his way north of the border.
How could you possibly ever want to do that? I don't care how good the guy is, man. There's just no way you can do that.
I agree. I mean, he's so enticing because when he plays, he's so good. He's so good, and he's
But
exactly
imagine acquiring somebody on a real high-priced ticket that sooner or later is going to be out for a lengthy amount of time.
Yeah.
You can't do it, man.
It's a guarantee. Like, if you acquire him, he is not going to play a fair amount of times.
The way I would look at it is you can't have Scotty Barnes even put eyes on that guy. just to get an appetite that's out there that you can do that, man.
Right.
Can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
Who are you bringing into the
you can
hen
just
house?
you can play when you want and kind of pull the pin and just leave for months at a time
Weather
and collect
gets
all
nice.
this money.
He's teeing it up somewhere, right? He's all of a sudden
You
playing.
cannot let Scotty Barnes put eyes on that at all.
Frustrating teammate. He'd be a frustrating teammate because you need him. When he's rolling, your team is different. When he's sitting on the bench, you're like, are you ready to play? Like, it's not good.
Well, and he makes so much money too, right? That if he's on your team, there's guys that are going to have to go, and there's only so much more you can expect out of the flexibility of the roster, And listen, he's a great player, but we have talked about him like street clothes, which Charles Barkley gave him that name. It's one of the all-time great nicknames. And it's the most accurate one because he's just always in street clothes. He's never playing. He's always just sitting around in street clothes. I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't wrap my head around that. And even though perfect world, it would be a brilliant piece, I just can't get there. And I'm with you. I don't want any part of it.
Oh, I don't want any. That's my main reason I would get to. I cannot have Scotty Barnes looking at that.
Please don't. Please don't. All right, Mike Johnson coming up on the Leaf win last night. The Oilers turning the corner. The Canucks got pumped by Detroit at home last night. It keeps getting uglier out there in Vancouver. So we'll touch on that a little bit as well. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. Hour 2 Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Brian Hayes, Yodog, Jeff O'Neill, Jason Strudwick. We got Mike Johnson coming up, confirm or deny later in the hour. Best bet still to come. Saw that the Northern Star was awarded today, right? Canadian Athlete of the Year, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander won it for the second time in 3 years. Not surprising, considering the year.
Get ready, because he's probably going to win it again.
He might. He might. Like, there's very few. I think Gretzky won it 3 times. I don't know if anyone else has won it 3 times. I'd have to look that up. But there's not a long history of athletes winning it even twice, let alone 3 times. So this one was deserved. Not that the one 2 years ago wasn't. Obviously he was great a couple of years ago. But this year, won MVP, scoring title, NBA championship, NBA finals MVP. He did it all. I mean, and he's doing it again this year. They don't lose. And he's putting up huge numbers. So you knew Shea was going to win it this year. But it's interesting, Strud, like McDavid's never won it. Connor's never won the Athlete of the Year, the Northern Star Athlete of the Year, which is crazy.
That's shocking.
It is because I don't know if is he going to win it now. He's into year 11 of his career. He's probably on the 10th tee of his career.
And let me just say this, Strud, before you answer. There's someone on this show that thinks the glory days for McJesus are over.
Oh.
I did state that before the year.
Dude, you did. You're like, no, this guy goes, no more Hart trophies, no more scoring titles. He won't score 50 again.
I don't know if I said no more scoring titles.
For McDavid's standard, you said it all, dude. You said it all.
I'm not convinced he'll win an MVP again. I don't think as of now, he won't this year, right? Like McKinnon's clearly going to win it over him. Still a lot of season left.
A lot of season. And if there's one guy that can go absolutely nuts on an NHL season, it is McJesus.
It is, although I would counter with it's McKinnon too, man. You think he's going to slow down? That guy puts up 2 points every single night.
I get it. And you know what I find a little bit disappointing? Not too long ago, guess who else we'd be mentioning in the same sentence?
Matthews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sure. I don't think we can say, like, Matthews can just tear apart a season the rest of the way. Like, just by the results that we've seen, I don't know if he's got that in the tank right now.
He's not in that category. He's not chasing a Hart. He's not chasing an Art Ross.
No, and I find that it is what it is, but I find it disappointing to say.
Sure. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not sure if I'm surprised McDavid's never won one of those. I mean, I think you could make a pretty strong case that most of the years he was at least in the conversation as a finalist.
Yeah.
But as far as this year, there was a game last week where they lost to Minnesota 1-0. Twice McDavid had the puck in the slot, and he chose to go to his backhand, and then he threw it backdoor to former Leaf Zach Hyman. And I don't think that there's ever a time where I would sit on a bench or anyone sit on a bench and think, the best play here is for Connor to pass it. you want your best player to shoot it. And so he said as much pretty much post-game, and he came out the next game, 7 shots, 3 goals, and an assist. Like I think he needs to have a shoot-first mentality. And what I liked about one of the goals he scored, I think it was the first goal actually scored the next game, it was from distance. You know, Connor is more of a guy that's going to skate it into the net because he's so quick and just beat a goalie and go short side or whatever. He ripped one from above the tops of the circles. And as a defender, when you start thinking, now this guy's presenting choices that deep, it makes it pretty hard, or that far away, it makes it hard for a defender. Now there's more options to defend.
Well, he's got 53 games left, McDavid, I believe. He's got 14 goals, 42 points. You know, he's off to a very good start. He's top 5 in points. He's chasing McKinnon. But that's on pace for 33, 34 goals, 115 points, something like that. Like, that's a great season. But I said I don't think he's going to hit 150-plus ever again, or 60-plus goals, and I'm not sure he's going to win a Hart again. He could, but, man, did I take heat. I'm a hater. I'm the worst. How dare you say that?
Deserved.
Well, I mean, I would say as of now, I'm looking like I'm on to something. Here's Mike Johnson, our TSN hockey analyst, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. There he is. What's happening, Johnny?
Well, Hayes, I like the victory lap 29 games into the season. That is nicely played. That is well done. Because I know if you ever get a prediction wrong, I'm sure you revisit and be like, boy, did I ever blow that one.
Never.
Boy, was I way off. Never. That never occurs. In fact, I remember this conversation with O and I, and while I think we conceded, yes, unlikely 150, the no Hart Trophy thing, that is still very bold to me. Very, very bold.
Dumbest thing ever said on this show, and there's been some real
and
dumb
that's
things.
Saying something. That is saying something with this crowd.
That is saying something.
Yes.
All right, so where would McDavid rank for you? The Hart was being handed out tonight. Is he in the top 5?
I mean, he would probably not. I'd have to look through it very close. But it's McKinnon, it's Makar. You know,
I think Celebrini and Bedard would be.
Celebrini and Bedard would be in there.
Straight.
Mm-hmm. Given what they're doing, those teams, they don't have a running mate like Draisaitl. He'd be in the top 10-ish. But if we're going, mostly based on points and mostly based on team success, I'm not catering to our Edmonton crowd, but would it surprise anyone? Like, I would almost give it even odds that Edmonton wins the division. So, if they go and finish first and he ends up second or third in scoring, he might be a Hart finalist. He won't win. I think McKinnon or Makar will get that award, but I don't think it's out of the question he'd be a top 5 guy by the end of the season at all.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, that's very reasonable. It's probably predictable. I mean, that's probably, like you said, safe money to kind of lean that way with him. And again, we don't have to revisit the conversation. It's just time is.
Yeah, me too.
Well, he's in year 11. Like, if he doesn't win it this year, I hate to break it to you guys, it becomes more unlikely as he gets older that he's going to win.
What year is McKinnon in?
McKinnon is older than him. Yeah, he is older, and you're absolutely
what year's
right.
Kucherov?
Johnny, we were just having the discussion, and I said I found it it's almost disappointing to say, because we were talking about guys that could roar back and jump into that Hart conversation, and Austin Matthews isn't in that conversation as a guy that feels like he could roar back and get in there now. Why is that? Is he committed to defense? Is he something off with him? Is he injured? How come he's not a guy? Because in years past, we'd be like, Austin Matthews could rip off 40 goals the rest of the way and be dialed into that conversation and overtake it. But I don't think, if we're being honest, he isn't right now, and I want to know why.
I think the answer is always not that simple. It's not one thing. It's a combination of everything. One, I'm not sure where his body's at. If he's healthy, if this version of healthy for him is, I'm not sure that he plays in the right kind of system that will allow him to pile up the kind of points. Perhaps the attention to detail, 200-foot game also hurting him. The fact that the power play is like the worst in the league, and boy, it looks awful at times.
Terrible.
Is not going to help him. You put all that together, and you're like, he's going to have a good year where he'll get 45-goal, 90-point pace. That's an incredible season. That is one of the better players in the league season. But it's not Hart Trophy winning. And it feels like in his best moments, so far this year, we haven't seen many glimpses of a guy that could go on a 50 goals and 65 game tear. He just doesn't look like that. He looks like a guy who's going to get a goal every other game and be really good while doing it. but that might just be where he's at. Health, system, teammates, special teams, all of it. He's just not, a top scorer in the league right now.
Johnny, we had a discussion earlier on about just the impact of the Olympics on the NHL, and I think we can all agree fatigues it. But I made the strong case that we've seen a lot of kind of sloppy and hectic play because of the lack of some practice time to hammer in habits. What is your experience in that, and are you seeing something similar or dissimilar?
Yeah, I think it's sort of a product that's been happening for a few years. Like practice is less and less. And we see it more frequently. Coach always complaining about it. And Struddy, I also think the league's getting younger. So many of the guys at the bottom of the roster are 20, 21, 22. Yeah. And they have energy, they have physicality, but they don't have experience so that when they are tired, they can sort of figure out how to play to be safe and a bit more cautious. So, it's an issue, fatigue and no practice. But I think it's sort of exacerbating what has been happening the last few years anyways.
Well, and I wonder how that applies to, players on new teams not having practice, where it's probably even more highlighted, Strud. And I'm, leaning towards where Mitch Marner is right now. And Vegas has won 4 in a row. They're on the East Coast. They're playing well. But Mitch has 5 goals, 27 points in 28 games. He's playing less minutes than he has, I think, at any point, certainly in his prime. He's been more on the second line in Vegas than on the top line. I've seen him play a few games. I have not seen him. Obviously, when he was in Toronto, I watched the large majority of his shifts. I can't say I'm doing that right now, but the numbers are somewhat staggering, Johnny. Like, he's on pace, again, for 12, 13 goals and 74 points, 75 points. Like, that's not Mitch Marner, man. Like, what do you make of it, and why is it not popping for him?
So I think, first off, he's not playing with Jack Eichel. I think Jack Eichel's the best player in Vegas. A lot of people assumed, well, he works so well with Matthews, another great player, he'll work well with Eichel, and it didn't really happen for them. So I think, you're putting him in with a less dynamic player to work with, so that might hurt him a little bit. I do think they do play a pretty structured system there. It's not quite as freewheeling. Now, there was Berube for that matter last year, had a great year, so maybe that's not as much, but I think everyone in Vegas has their numbers, stunted a little bit by the style that they play under Cassidy. But the 5 goals is what's surprising. Like, a point a game, you can bump that up and get to 85, 88, 90, and that would be decent. Pretty good, right? He's not like a 120-point guy. You're hoping it's a 100-point guy. Right. But if you're going to get 15 goals out of a guy, I mean, unless he's Joe Thornton getting 15 goals and 100 assists, like, that's not what you're acquiring when you're thinking you're getting one of the best offensive players in the league. Like, you got to score 30 goals-ish to be, an elite level offensive player, no matter how many assists you get, including Connor McDavid, right? Like, he can't get 20 goals and 100 assists. Like, that's not an elite level offensive performance. So that part is surprising. And I'm sure he's aware of it, but he's probably not feeling it the same way as Hayes in Vegas. Although there has been some rumblings, but he's not feeling it publicly and in the media like he would be if he was in Toronto.
Yeah, and I can't speak for people in Vegas, but they've been spoiled. I mean, let's be clear. They went to the Cup final their first year. If you've been a Golden Knight fan, you've just expected greatness and competitiveness, and they are a competitive team, and they're going to be, I believe, a Cup contending team. But when you bring in a guy making $12 million, you're probably thinking, all right, let's see this guy rock.
I'm curious, Hayes, about the Eichel stuff. Like, wouldn't you kind of say when you're signing a deal like that, look, am I playing with Eichel here or what? And it seemed like they played together for the first 2 or 3 games, and then they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But are they a match stylistically, Johnny? Like, do you see them? I see them as 2 guys that both like to have the puck on their stick.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're both transporters. And that's why Mitch was really good with Austin, because Austin does the work, gets it to the wing, and then can come in late and get into scoring positions while someone else gets the puck up the ice in the offensive zone. In Vegas, Jack wants the puck. Jack is one of the fastest skaters in the league. He wants the puck through the neutral zone, into the offensive zone. And by default, Jack Eichel is a passer as well. He can shoot very well, but his nature is to be a facilitator, as is Mitch Marner. So, like, I get why it didn't make instant sense, why Mark Stone is so good with Jack Eichel, because he complements the stuff Jack Eichel wants to do well. And Mitch, their skill sets are maybe a little bit too similar. But, I mean, if you have that conversation, yes, you'd like to play with Jackie, you'd like to put up points. But at some point, you're like, okay, my team's rolling. We're, coming up on first in the Pacific. We're tax-free. I got the money. My kids and family is in great space. Like, I wonder if you don't grind on that he doesn't have 35 points instead of 28 quite to the same degree now, given where his contract and his life and his team is.
Well, I'm sure it's a very different experience. I don't think there's any doubt. And it's not his team, quote unquote. You've experienced this. I've talked to people that have been around them. It's Eichel, it's Stone, it's Theodore. It's their team, so to speak. And that doesn't mean Marner won't have a big, role in that, especially if he's going to be there for the next decade. But here it was him and Austin. Like, those were the two guys, really. And there was a pecking order. Matthews was probably a little bit ahead of him. But the limelight is very different, clearly. And ultimately, he's going to make it or break it with what he does in the playoffs, right? Like, that's where people are going to really determine, was it the right play? If he goes there and they win and he plays great, then he'll look back on Toronto and say, it wasn't me. It wasn't my problem. And the Leafs, the same thing. The Leafs, you look at that game last night, Johnny, like, it was a low event, kind of heavy game. I thought the Leafs played well. I thought they checked well, defended well. They looked comfortable in a role like that. Not that Marner wouldn't help them in those roles either, but, it does kind of feel like now we're 28, 29, 30 games in. Like, last season is officially behind us. That makes sense. And it's time to turn the page, and the Leafs have been doing that recently.
Yeah, but you know what makes it easier to turn the page, Hayes? Some W's. Right? Yes. Because, you're not so inclined to look back at the good old days. Oh, remember when Mitch was getting 100 points? Remember when we were scoring a whole bunch? Remember when he was a great defensive winger? Because we remember the wins that he was involved in. Now that the Leafs have sort of righted the ship, they've corrected a lot of the stuff that was ailing them early, the rush chances against, the penalty kill bleeding chances, the slot protection. Like, they are so much more like last year's team in the last 7-8 games where, yeah, they get outshot a little bit, but the quality of shots is not the same. They don't give up as much high danger stuff. Penalty kill's been solid. Goaltending has been spectacular. Like, that's what they were last year. And that's when they won the division, and they were within one game of going to the third round. And they lost to the eventual Cup champions. So they're looking more like that. And now it is easier to say, okay, Mitch Marner, he's gone. We're not looking to see why we aren't good because he's not there. We are good, and he's not here. And now we just try to fix the things that we need to improve, like the power play, which I still think they miss him on. But, yeah, I definitely think sort of emotionally and just logically everyone can turn the page on that chapter and say, all right, like, he's off doing his own thing, and so are we.
Johnny, how close do you think you can get? We're having an Atlantic Division pool to guessing how it rolls out at the end of the regular season. Everyone's chunking in a hunch, and you have to predict 1 through 8 in the Atlantic. How difficult would that be?
I feel pretty good at picking 8. Yeah. So, but
8. Well, let's just go 1 through 7 then, if we're going to play that game.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. Like, listen, I'm in, obviously. If it comes to with you guys, I like my chances. Yes. But, I think right now, you have to Tampa to be good in the end. I don't think Florida, given the injuries, is going to maybe threaten for first. So you start working your way down. Who could win? I think Tampa could win. I don't think Detroit, although they are in first place, is going to win the division. Montreal, if Ottawa could get some goals, they should be there as well. And then Toronto's a wild card. It would be really, really, really hard. I'm discounting Boston, whatever they're doing. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be tricky. But I will say, if we're going 1 through 7, would it surprise anyone if at the end of the season, 1 through 7 is separated by less than 10 points? 98 points to 88 points? I think that is entirely realistic.
Well, not if that's the case, and I think it very likely could be. The stretch run will be remarkable, and the pressure on teams
be great.
At the trade deadline.
Haven't seen this
crazy
in this division in 7 years. Mm-hmm. It's been Tampa, Florida, Boston, Toronto, and the other guys are the other guys. It's not even been a conversation. Yes, I know last year Montreal and Ottawa made it, but that was the first time in a decade it seemed like there was much to think about down the stretch. Yeah, to think what all these teams, and the best part, Hayes, is if you're Toronto, Tampa, Florida, you're probably thinking, we don't know where we're going to finish, but we think we can maybe win a cup. If you're Ottawa or Montreal, you're thinking, we're not that far behind those other guys. Like, why would we not be aggressive? Our future is now. Yeah, like, there's every reason for about 6 of those teams to go sort of be aggressive, thinking they could do good things if they make it or when they make it. Yeah, trade deadline, down the stretch, be 2 months of intense games and scoreboard watching and standings watching.
What's your mini Jerry's that Quinn Hughes is playing in the Atlantic Division by the end of the year?
Oh, Atlantic Division. So I would say it is 95% he's not playing in Vancouver. That feels easier. But I would say in the Atlantic,
This is
he's in the Atlantic
trading segment.
I think that he's in the Atlantic only about 37%. And then 60% chance that he ends up in the Metropolitan. So, like, I know Detroit is aggressive, and it sort of makes sense for Detroit in that they have the assets, they have the need, and maybe they have the belief that even though he's not saying Detroit is priority number one, he does have the Detroit ties, University of Michigan. They can convince him, a la Mikko Rantanen, like, come here, you'll like it enough, we'll give you the $15 million, and we can give you an 8-year contract that you will not be able to get. When you change teams in 2 years, you're getting a 6-year deal from Jersey. You're going to leave $30 million on the table by not extending with us next fall. That's a lot of money for anybody. And I know he has a lot, but that's still a lot. So I would say it's about, 37% or so that he ends up in the Atlantic. About 60% he ends up in the Metro, in Jersey, or maybe in Philadelphia.
Ooh, that's...
You don't think that he has said it's either Vancouver or Jersey? That's all I'm doing. You don't think that's his approach?
Well, he doesn't. I mean, he can say that for the extension, but he's got 2 more years without trade protection. So Vancouver could say, well, you can say Jersey all you want. Go there in 2 years, because right now Detroit's giving us Edvinson, Nate Danielson, and a first rounder. And that's better than what we're going to get from Jersey. So go enjoy Detroit for 2 years. Then you can get to Jersey whenever you want to get there. He doesn't get to really control this to the degree that you might think he does, because he has the 2 years. And there will be teams, we've talked about this, that see the value in making that deal for a 2-year window with him on your team, maybe playoff dates, maybe tens of millions of dollars in playoff gate revenue, as well as the chance to convince him to stay there with the extra 2-year on the extension kicker. Like, we can't act like $30 million is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of incentive for a team like Detroit, if they trade for him, to say, we got a pretty good case to make that he stays with us and not just goes to Jersey eventually. And maybe the greater tell might be, if he goes somewhere, extends there, does Jack end up joining Quinn as opposed to the other way around?
Now we're talking, man. Now we're talking. Although Luke just signed a long-term deal in Jersey, but maybe he's the third brother.
Yeah,
maybe he just
but
doesn't
he's the
count.
he's the run to the litter. Little brother gets the run the short end sometimes. You never know.
Right. You never know. You stay in Jersey. You can come meet us when you're older if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I mean, it does, like, it sucks for Vancouver. At the core of this, it sucks if you're a Canuck fan, because that team is a mess. They got blown up by Detroit last night.
Yeah.
There weren't even boos because people just left. You know, like, screw it, we're out of here. Yeah, it's apathy has kicked in. And, if you're a fan, you just want Hughes to stick around, because if he leaves, what is left? Like, I know Canucks fans have a connection to Pettersson. I understand that. And they want to believe he will revert back to superstardom and it's going to happen. I personally think that ship has sailed. I just don't see it happening. What else are you loving there? What else are you connected to? It can't be Demko. He doesn't play enough.
That sure as hell ain't EP40.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? If you're a Canuck fan and Hughes is gone.
And he leaves, then you're like, why did we extend Demko? Why did we extend Besser? Why did we extend Connor Garland? Like, these moves were made with the intention to be good. And if you lose your best player, and he is miles and away their best player, and you look at the old with and without Quinn Hughes on the ice, they're like different teams, right? Oh. When he's out there, they're good. When he's not, they're not so good. And even with him, they're in last place. So all those contracts, all that future planning doesn't make a lot of sense. They would have been better off trading Demko, trading Garland, letting Besser walk, whatever. If they were going to go down this road, those contractual commitments to the other players to surround Quinn Hughes to make it palatable for him to stay make no sense. So yes, it's a brutal situation. He's done nothing wrong. He's been very upfront about what his wants are and how he wants to go about doing them. He's given them years of warning that it might go this way, so they're not blindsiding them and they won't be prepared. But yeah, it's a tough situation for Vancouver because he's that good and he can control when he leaves, and then they're going to be left sort of high and dry, and that team is sort of stuck in not good no man's land, which is a bad place to be.
Johnny, before we get you out of here, are you on some type of small aircraft or something? Where are you right now?
Bell Center.
Yeah.
Love it. Tampa.
I'm on the Bell
tonight.
Center. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the Bell Center, in the press box. The best press box.
There was someone chit-chattering through that whole interview. Who else? Do you have a stats guy
Brian
up there or
Mudryk.
something?
Brian Mudryk was here.
Of course.
Our A2 MP was here.
Marty was
Well, he's got a
talking
big
the whole
voice.
Interview. Yeah.
There's
He
MP. So she runs the show. Yeah, like this is, you get me at the rink, there's going to be background noise. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the best I can do.
That's the way it works, man. It does kind of look like it's like overhead luggage,
Yes,
right?
overhead bins above his head.
Yeah, it's like a weird kind of look there.
No,
But yeah,
that's the Bell Center.
Bell Center, man. I'll
There
be
we
rocking
go.
Tonight.
Best booth in the league.
Tonight.
Best press box in the league.
It's
Without
high,
fail.
though. It's high up there, man. It's way up there.
How many
hot
dogs
dogs.
do you? How many dogs do you down at intermission?
I try to stay away from that. Oh, sometimes you get guilted into one before. I'm going to go eat now. And like sometimes you walk by, you can't help yourself. They're just sitting there, just waiting for you to grab them. And like
I know.
you grab one, you always grab two. Like you never have just one. If you're disciplined, you don't walk there during the intermission. You stay away from that. But tonight, I probably have two. I'll probably have two.
Okay.
I'm wondering what the NHL record is for someone that was a healthy scratch that was really hungover from the night before and was a monster. I bet you somebody's had 30 of those.
Yeah.
I bet
30.
you some monster that was healthy scratch, that maybe a tough guy or something, who was 270, has had 30 dogs during a game.
Third dog.
Like when they would
loaves
bring
of
in the
bread.
tray, after the game into the visiting room, how many dogs would be on that tray? 60? 80? Like they'd bring a box of them in for people. Like there'd be 100 for the 35 people in the dressing room. So yeah, you can do big numbers. They're very small, like little one-timers.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are.
I think
They
back
are.
at the Forum, it's more likely, though, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know about modern-day athletes, but you go back 30 years
Yes,
ago.
it's true.
That must have been something. Like, then that's when you really had big nights, too, and you didn't worry about cameras or anything. It would have been crazy.
Between cigarettes, they'd be having their hot dog post-game. Yes.
Absolutely. And it just blend into the building so no one would know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
bet you some guys left the Shea and talked about breaking into the Bell Center to get their hands on some of those. Someone thought about it,
Yeah.
breaking into the Bell Center to make some
Mission
dogs.
impossible.
Fire up the grill.
How do we get in
Yes.
there? All right, Johnny. Well, enjoy yourself tonight. Say hi to Muddy and the whole crew, and we'll do it again later in the week.
All right, fellas. Have a good week.
There he is, Mike Johnson, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Get in and go where adventure takes you in a new 2025 Tacoma from Maple Toyota, near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall. Visit mapletoyota.com. Confirm or deny, still to come. Raptors Knicks tonight. And, again, Leafs back in action later this week. We got Tampa and Montreal tonight. We got the Oilers playing. You got Colorado and Nashville tonight. Like, that could be destructive. That could be point night for McCarr and McKinnon. So more on that still to come. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Austin trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, quick confirm or deny on the fly because we haven't mentioned it yet. Confirm or deny Bobby McMahon will get suspended for his little high stick last night.
He better not get suspended. All I would do is play a tape of Jacob Trouba going to Topgolf on Trent Frederick's head in New York, Madison Square Garden, and I would say that's a suspension. Like,
it's a good hack. It's a high stick. I mean, he got kicked out of the game. He got a match penalty for it.
I think that was sufficient for it. Like, I don't – the way they're handing out fines these days, but I don't know. It seems like when you get a call from George, I think you're getting one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to lead to that. Where do you stand on it, Strud?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to get suspended. I think he's lucky because I think he had intention to pop him on the head, but he missed. Mm-hmm. So I think for that reason, I'd only suspend him. But with a very, was it $5,000? And buddy, be very careful with your stick. Because I don't like stick work at all. Now, if you slash in the legs, no problem. But slashing to the heads, I've got a real problem with it.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Like, he missed.
Yeah, it's not an accident.
No, it wasn't. Like, he was reacting. He popped the guy. If he got suspended, I would not be shocked by that. I wouldn't be overly disappointed. But it's a gray area, man. It's really close. And it's so tough to get a read on the league. It's like anything they do. You know, goaltender interference, what's this? What? You have no idea which way it's going to go. It's a complete crapshoot with the NHL every time on kind of big events. All right, confirm or deny, one of the Maple Leafs or the Oilers will finish first in the respective divisions.
I cannot even believe that I'm saying this right now, but I'm going to confirm it because I think the Oil, I don't know how the hell they do it every year. They really got me to, and I just lost all credibility on the quiz. Because 2 weeks ago on the quiz, they were playing so bad, and it was warranted. I said 0% chance of making the playoffs. They were that bad.
What?
I said 0% chance.
Oh,
they couldn't get a save. They really looked like they had just packed it in. I know it was early, but it was – Struddy, you have to admit, it was tough sledding watching those guys. It was as bad as it's ever been. And I had no idea the headspace of Stu Skinner. I still don't, but – They feel like they could just start ripping off some wins here and climb up to the top. And the same for the Leafs. It's a crapshoot, man. And I think it's either one of these teams they can maybe do it, which I'm shocked I'm even saying the way they were both playing.
Yeah, I think both teams have lottery balls, so I'm going to confirm it as well. I think they've got a chance to do it. In the case of the Leafs, I think it's a little bit more in flux about what they're going on in their division. With the Oilers, I think it's them and Vegas. But the Oilers got to remember, they got Jack Roslovic. This guy is not playing right now, and he may be the top 6 forward they've been needing. He may be, right? I'd like to see a little bit bigger body. A guy I think they could get that would make a lot of sense, Alex Tuck. Obviously, that'd be very expensive. And then they're also without Kapanen. And whether what do you think? He's a big body. They can skate, add speed to the lineup. And then on the back end, they've got Jake Wallman, who's been out for a while too, and really hasn't really had a chance to get on track. So there's 2, maybe 3 important players of their lineup. And they're finally playing better in front of this puck management, defending way better. That's not just the D-men; it's everybody. So I think if they continue this on,
man, you guys are positive. You guys are positive guys. I can't get there quite yet because of a week and a half of good play.
That's a smart answer. We're idiots. I'm emotional, it's recency bias, and it's stupid talk to even say that.
Well, listen, they both have a shot.
They could backstab me and just start playing like garbage again, both of them.
Yeah, I'll deny it. Like the goaltending, whoever wins the division. And listen, Vegas' goaltending, I don't know what's going on. Like Carter Hart's actually been very good in the 2 games he's won. But I don't know what that's going to look like all year. Aiden Hill, I don't know. I feel like in the Atlantic, whoever has the best goaltending, they're going to win the division. Right? If it's Vasilevsky comes back healthy, Heater, if Ullmark plays well, if Montembeault or Dobish. Now in Toronto, they're on their 3rd string goalie, but Hildeby, he's got some Jordan Binnington vibes right now. Right? Like shows up when they're in the dumps, red hot, kind of a guy that came out of nowhere, not someone you're expecting. It's probably a little bit premature to officially label him the next Binnington. But, same kind of vibes in 19, Berube behind the bench. But there's other teams that are right there. The Leafs are playing much better. Edmonton's playing much better. In 2 weeks, I may confirm this, but I can't do it quite yet when they're still not even there yet. Edmonton's barely in the playoffs. The Leafs are still on the outside looking in. I get it, 50-plus games to go. A lot of things are going to change, but too many tickets the other way. Like Anaheim continues to be pretty good, Strud. Like you said, Vegas, and it very well could be Vegas that wins it or Edmonton, but Anaheim keeps rolling.
Yeah, they're not slowing.
They're not slowing down.
Bumps, but they're not slowing down.
My concern is that they've got some good D, but some of them are taking on quite a bit of water back there, and I'm a little bit worried about that. Lots of firepower. Katagoche, great story. Obviously,
Carlson, man, he's in a heart race right now. That Leo Carlson kid, he's
worried about the D a bit. All in Zellweger, though, that guy's a player, man. Yep. I love the way he plays.
The Kings are picking up steam a little bit too, right? Like there's races, and it's great that Edmonton and Toronto are even in the conversation. All right, confirm or deny, Shedeur Sanders will be the Browns' starting quarterback week 1 next season.
Not a chance. I totally deny this. I think they're just trying to get by, and they're telling everybody and making a statement saying they gave him a chance, but I have no idea how they move forward.
He played great this past weekend in a loss, but he played very well. He's going to start the rest of the year for them, but I don't know. Like, is Gabriel the guy? Or they like Watson's never playing for them ever again? Clearly.
You don't think Deshaun Watson's ever coming back?
Never. He'll come back because he's guaranteed money, so he's going to cash checks. But I don't think he plays. How could you trust that guy? Like, how could you ever put him back on the field? It's a disaster. Probably the worst trade in the history of the NFL, maybe in the history of sports.
My favorite thing about that guy is him posting videos last year when he was on vacation.
Oh, all the time.
Oh, he loved it, man.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say to him, do you not have any idea?
He's rehabbing. He's rehabbing.
Yeah.
He ain't rehabbing.
But the Red Sox might challenge you for the worst trade ever, right? Getting Babe Ruth to the Yankees.
That's true. Maybe the Mookie Betts deal.
Maybe that's one I would take over, a do-over. But
possibly.
Listen, the Browns seem to do things their own special way. And I have really no idea what they're going to do. I couldn't believe they drafted Shedeur in the first place. I think he comes with a lot of noise around him. And I think it's difficult when you're a team like the Browns and you have a player with a lot of noise around. Is it worth it? Well, let's find out. Let's take a look at the rest of the year. Let's say he does play well. The Browns may still find another option they think is better than him. So I'm going to deny it just because the unpredictability of that franchise.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's going to be a kind of a Jameis Winston type of quarterback where it's like he's going to buy you some time. He's going to get you to a certain point. But the whole league is a quarterback league. And if you don't have a guy to get you to a certain promised land, you're wasting a bunch of years for the organization putting a guy behind center like that.
That's possible. Again, it's so early in his career where it's difficult to project if he's even going to get to that point. Like a guy like Jameis went first overall too, right? And he's been in the league a long time. But I'm actually going to confirm this because now they're going to let him start the rest of the year. It's not a ton of games. Got 4 games left or whatever. But they don't have, like, Watson's not the answer. Dylan Gabriel's a guy he'll compete with, but Gabriel's not a guarantee. He was a 3rd-round pick. He's a project. And if Sanders plays well down the stretch, I think the market will start to kind of back him up a little bit. And that is an ownership, like you said, Strud, that I think buys into that. I think they listen to the mob. I think they listen to the crowd, which would probably benefit him. All right, confirm or deny, Matthew Knies should make Team USA. 14 forwards can go, right?
I just need some type of idea who's on left wing. You're talking about Kyle Connor.
One of the Kachuk brothers. Connor, probably Jack Hughes will play left wing.
I think. Well, right. He didn't play very well at the Four Nations.
And he's coming off an injury. Do you think he's a lock? Like, I know that's not what we're talking about here, but
I really don't know if he's a lock. I don't know. You have to look at past performance and say, can I really trust that guy? Is he going to be like a? They put Chris Kreider in the lineup in the last game. Right. I don't know if Chris Kreider's playing pretty well. Is he still an option for Billy Guerin? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to confirm that he's going to make that team.
Jake Gensel's a guy that will make it for sure.
Yes.
But then, yeah, you're looking at, I don't know, does JT Miller make it and get pushed to the left side? Does Boldy make it over Knies?
JT Miller has had a very underwhelming season.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to make the team. Like, he's been disastrous at times. Now, the Rangers are playing better. And he's the captain of that team. But I don't know. I'm a little bit biased, but I will confirm it because I wonder about the Matthews conversation, which isn't nearly as prominent because Matthews isn't playing at the same level. But we have the Hyman-McDavid chat all the time.
Sure.
Make them comfortable. They know each other. Is that a scenario where Team USA could look at it and say, okay, who else can we put with them to connect on that line? I don't know. Like, does Trocheck make it again? Does Brock Nelson make it again? It's a numbers game, but he's had a very good year, and he's a young guy.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going to deny it, and that's not. It's not. I get the player. I like the player, and I'm going to assume everyone's healthy. Everyone we name, let's just assume they're all available and healthy. Just so we can't get into that. I think when I look at it, I wonder where does he fit in? Right? What's his role? Is he going to be?
Where does he fit in? Plays with Austin Matthews every day.
I know, but is he the best option to play with Austin Matthews in that?
That's the question.
And that sounds like a slight on Knies, and that's not my intention here at all. I'm just, when I'm building that team out, is that the guy I want beside Austin Matthews, who I'm probably hoping or expecting to be quite offensive and kind of dominate lines. So that's where it gets tricky.
Well, let me throw out some other names here. Cole Caulfield. Again, forget left wing, right wing, just players. Yeah. Caulfield's been better this year. Like, for me, Caulfield's played his way onto this team. I think it would be a difficult explanation as to why he wouldn't be there.
I wouldn't say that he has played his way onto the team.
Based on what? His size, or based on? Like,
I don't know. If he's just an afterthought in previous years and it's just not happening, Billy Guerin has a certain idea for the team. Mm-hmm. I don't think his excellent performance just assures he's going to get on the team. I really don't.
Okay. What about Jason Robertson, who's having a great year? Wasn't at the Four Nations. Like, he's having a great year, Robertson.
I don't think he would be a guarantee either. Look, they were one goal away. Do you think they want to make a bunch of changes? I don't know. Is Jason Robertson going to take over for a guy like JT Miller? I'm not sure.
That's the debate, like, right there. That's the question. Does Brock Nelson make it again, who's played pretty well?
Pretty decently this year.
Very good team. Yeah, he's been great, on a very good team. Does Clayton Keller make the team? Does Alex DeBrincat make the team? Those are guys, they weren't on it, Four Nations.
Yeah, I don't think Billy Guerin wants to deviate too far off the roster that he had. They're one shot away.
Well, I would agree with that. And again, with Knies, what he has over Caulfield, DeBrincat, guys like Keller, he's big, man.
He's a big guy.
Like,
if you're looking for a guy that would fit the mold, he would be the guy.
Right.
You know what? You've actually maybe talked me into it. I think you've talked me into that one. So I'm going to switch my vote to confirm.
There you
go.
The
size does make a difference. When I think back to it, now the rink's going to be slightly smaller. Not that that is a massive difference, but it does make a little bit of difference, right? Especially depending where those feet come out, is it neutral zone or the end zones.
All right. Well, with that in mind, let me get to this final one here, Joe. Confirm or deny, Connor Bedard should make Team Canada over Tom Wilson. It comes down to those two guys. Only one can make it.
Is Sam Bennett in this team, in this world?
I can't really give you that answer. Let's say he is. Sure.
Well, I think you need
Connor Bedard over Tom
Bedard
Wilson.
or Wilson. It comes down to, it's like we can take one of these guys. We're looking for the 14th forward. It's one of these two.
That's unfair, man.
Yeah, I'll
it's
go
a
first.
Legit debate, though, I think they'd be having right now.
I'm going to confirm it because Tom Wilson is unlike other players on this team. We just talked about Matthew Knies. He's huge. He can hit like a truck. I think he's trying to show that he can be physical and still be disciplined. He can score, whereas there's other players like Connor Bedard on this team that are highly skilled. So if I'm looking for something different, I'm going to bring Tom Wilson. I personally have Tom Wilson on this team for sure. Now, I don't know if it's going to be at the expense of Connor Bedard.
Right, and that's the nature of this bid. But maybe they're both on it. But, yeah, Wilson, I mean, he's having a great year again. He's a leader on a winning team. He's tough as nails. But fighting, like we talked about yesterday, fighting is not a factor. No. You got to trust he's not going to throw a hit that leads to a 5-minute penalty in a big game, right, because he's prone to that. These are all debates they're having right now. But
who are you taking? If you're sitting in an office and somebody came in and said, you got to take one of these guys, who's it going to be?
I would take Bedard.
Let's say Celebrini's on the team already.
I think Celebrini's there. For me, Celebrini's a lock. The way he plays, the way he's playing. You move him to the left wing with one of your best players. It's just.
But I don't understand why people are saying Celebrini's a lock, but Bedard isn't.
Because I just think Celebrini plays. He's a better checker in my opinion. He's more dogged on pucks. Like Bedard, Celebrini. You've watched him play. He's got a Sid motor. You know, like, and I just think he can fit anywhere. Where Bedard, it may be different. Like, they may not trust him fourth line, penalty killing, you know, taking draws. Not that I would expect either guy to take draws on a team like this, but you know, they might have to. But you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be McDavid, it's going to be McKinnon. It's gonna be, guys like that. If Suzuki's on it, he'll take a draw over those two guys.
Points in there.
Yeah, and point exactly. I don't know. I think it's a great debate. It's a great problem to have.
Who's coming? Wilson or Bedard? I said Wilson. I put my money
I'm taking Bedard. I'm taking Bedard because of the nature of the Olympics.
I'm never turning my back on Tommy Wilson. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I hear you. Someone rich recently.
He's going to be mad at me. So.
Well, listen, they're all great players. And we just talked about the Americans. There's a chance Cole Caulfield, he could score 50 this year or close to it, and he's going to be at home.
Yeah.
May not make the team.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an all-star game.
And Strutty brought up a great point. It's amazing how in that tournament how good those players are on their own club teams and how ordinary everybody looked. Mm-hmm. It was like pass, check, hit, no space in the neutral zone, dump it in, get off. Like there was not a lot going on out there. There was some exciting stuff clearly, but
don't make a mistake.
It's so fast.
Don't be one of those guys to give your opponent like that one gift, like a pizza up the middle, a missed check.
Because they can kill you. One mistake kills you, right? It's incredible how fast it is. I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be great. Now, was John Cooper's famous clip. He was mic'd up. Someone go out and make a play. Like he's yelling at the guys who make plays in their sleep, begging them to make a play. You know, try something.
That's what was going to win it. Somebody had to make a play. And Mitch Marner sniffed out that rim, and he got it and passed it, and then McJesus did the rest.
McDavid ended it. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, there you go. Confirm or deny. Best bets coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Habits lead to late nights, sending alone conversations with
all right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I hit on a overtime prediction last week. I'm going back to the well. Tampa, Montreal overtime tonight. Tampa's lost 4 in a row. John Cooper not happy. Back-to-back, they're on a third-string goalie. The Habs are sitting there waiting for him. I think the Habs will play well. I think Tampa plays a lot better tonight. Close game. Someone scores late, pushes it to overtime. Overtime at the Bell Center tonight. And I would parlay that with Tampa winning in overtime or a shootout. I think Tampa gets on the board tonight. But screams 3-point game this evening. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your bets and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, we got Edmonton playing tonight, Colorado Habs, Tampa. We got the Raptors playing the Knicks NBA Cup quarterfinal down at Scotiabank. And Phillip Rivers might be back in the NFL. We'll get to that later in the week at 44 years old. Pretty incredible stuff. How about that? If he can make a comeback, you guys got to at least think about it. Right, it's possible.
He won't be having any more kids. I think that guy's got 10 kids.
I think he might have a grandchild.
Yeah.
I believe he does. I'm pretty sure Phillip Rivers is a grandfather.
Yeah. No, he has 10 kids are coming back.
Yeah,
it's insane, man.
44. Grandfather. He's slinging it, man. Slinging it.
It's incredible.
All right, Strut. Good seeing you, man. As always, thank you for doing this. Noodles will be back tomorrow to address what could be a concerning development. All right, we got a clip for you tomorrow. Noodles will address it.
What?
All right? It's from Rob Ray. All right, that's what we'll say. He'll address it tomorrow. All right, we're out of here. Thank you to everyone on the show and everyone behind the scenes, everyone for tuning in today, TV, radio, podcast, web, and up on YouTube Live. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.